Hey guys, welcome. The reason why I decided to make this video is because thousands of people are being affected by the same thing around the world: sleep paralysis. There are many secrets and many reasons why that people that have this problem, and I'm not going to say disorder because it's not medical at all. But the reason why so many people that have this problem have not gotten direct answers and the results that they need in order to put a stop to the sleep paralysis is because the doctors are behind hiding the secret from you guys. So what the main secret is, the only secret is, the reason why people have sleep paralysis, where it comes from, how it happens, why it happens to certain individuals, is because they are entity attacks. True. Absolutely, entity attacks. The reason is, when you guys really think about it, almost every single sleep paralysis have very, very close similarities to each person or each individual from around the world that don't even know each other that have it. As far as falling asleep or about to fall asleep and you end up getting attacked. When you are asleep, you're about to wake up, and right in between half asleep and half awake meditation state, you get attacked. Now, the reason why the doctors are not telling you guys exactly the problem and what it is and how it could be fixed is because they're making money. The doctors always stand by scientists. And what do scientists always say? They always try to come up with a logical explanation when a paranormal activity happens, right? Same thing when it comes to sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is nothing more than demonic entities attacking you while you are in a dream state or about to fall asleep. How it occurs and why. The way that it occurs, it happens. I have had many people contact me for help regarding the sleep paralysis, and they each one of them had told me the same thing. They said that it started when they were little. Now what happens is, while you're little, you're very vulnerable. You're vulnerable to the spiritual realm. You're vulnerable to our realm. You're vulnerable to the world and the universe around you. Therefore, an entity will choose a child, and therefore it will weaken the child, meaning it will torment the child while they are awake or asleep. They will scare the living crap of the child until they're about 30 years old, every single night of their life. They choose children because they're very, very vulnerable. And as the older that you get, the sleep paralysis gets worse and worse and worse. The activities get worse and worse and worse. And if you guys noticed, the adults that have the sleep paralysis always end up saying that, oh, I've had it since I was a little kid, and, it was bad, but I didn't really think of anything because everybody kept telling me it was nightmares. My parents took me to psychologists, they took me to doctors, which they're making money, and they're not telling you exactly what the problem is, okay? And the reason why the sleep paralysis continues from childhood to adulthood until someone like me steps in and says, enough is enough, no more psychology visits, no more therapy appointments, no more doctor visits, because it has nothing to do with neurological issues that these doctors are claiming, or the person might be mental. The person might have depression. The person might be sick and this and that. And therefore, we need to keep them under these medications. Medications are for mind control. Keep in mind, even Tylenol. Okay, when you put your mind to something, that's what there's a saying. When you put your mind to something, you can absolutely do it. And the same thing with this. You don't need medications to cure sleep paralysis, because there is no medication that would help you. The only thing that they do is these medications that the therapist or the doctors prescribe for anxiety, but it's not exactly for anxiety. Behind it, the truth is to control you and to keep you coming back. You need to keep going back for refills, for doctor visits, for evaluations and this and that, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Whoever, those of you guys who have the sleep paralysis and have been having it for so many years. When it comes to your child, as a parent, I understand that you guys want to protect your kids. So if something like that happens in their sleep, or while they're going to bed, or in the middle of the night when it happens, because sometimes they'll wake up in the middle of the night, and that will happen, that will occur, you automatically take him to the doctor. Then the doctor writes a prescription. Then you come back 30 days later and the prescription doesn't work, so then they prescribe a higher dose. And finally, when your child is at the stage where they're taking so many doses of medications due to the sleep paralysis, because they're assholes and they don't want to tell the parents the truth about exactly what it is and how to fix it the right way, they prolong the procedure and keep their patients coming back to them with one bullshit lie after another. Oh, we need to increase the dose. We need to do this. We need to run more neurological tests. It has nothing to do with the mental mind. It really doesn't. And I'm talking about the psych ward that eventually some people end up going to, because they are labeled as being crazy, and it's not. It is the dark side. It is the demons, the dark entities that are doing this. How it occurs and how it will happen is when you're a child, if your parents are going through a divorce, anything tragic that they physically see or feel or even experience themselves, it will trigger it. Now, the way that the dark side works, these demons are that they will, they pretty much, it's like going fishing, and then they threw their hook in the water, and they just wait until the right catch comes, and then they grab it. Same thing with when it comes to sleep paralysis and picking the children that are damaged, that are in depression, that want to commit suicide because they don't care about life anymore. Children that are in the middle of a nasty divorce in the family, or a tragic accident that happened. Anything can trigger that child's mind to becoming afraid, that to where they want to hide from the world, or they have this big secret kept inside. They can't tell the truth or speak their feelings because they feel like nobody understands them. So all those feelings build up throughout the years. And it's not good feelings, it's negative feelings piling up on top of each other, and eventually it's going to explode. And when it explodes, it opens up portals to the dark side, and that's when the entities come through, and they start affecting this poor child. Now, when I say child, again, another reason why they pick children is because it's really hard to convince adults, because once you reach a certain age, some people turn into skeptics, even though when they were little they don't, they've seen spirits. You're very intuitive and you have very high vibrations when you're little, so you're able to pick up on the spiritual realm and see spirits and hear them and see them. But as you grow older, now it's your choice whether you want to keep the gift that you have and the doors open, or you could shut them and say, you know what, it never happened. So you convince yourself mentally that it was never true, that never happened, you forget about it. Then when people start talking about it, later on in life, you're like, oh no, it doesn't exist, it's not real. So the reason why they do pick kids is because children are very vulnerable, especially when they're sleeping. They depend on their mom and dad to protect them, right? Even when they're sleeping, they want to get tucked in, they want to have the good night kiss, I love you, turn the night light on, this and that, go to bed. And that's where they feel the safest is in their own bed. And that's where these dark demonic entities take advantage. They don't want you to feel safe. They also want you to feel like you have an imaginary friend, or you're going crazy, and if you tell your parents, an adult, or anybody in your life, they're going to think you're crazy too. So they put that stuff in your head to where you just keep everything bottled up inside, and the negativity keeps building up and building up. And as long as the fear, the anger, the depression is still within you, that the demons are able to keep inside you, they grow stronger. They feed off of your negative energy, so they get stronger. They suck the living crap out of you, your energy, everything that you have, to a point where you're dragging your butt out of bed and you don't feel like going to school, you don't feel like going to work as an adult, you just want to stay in bed and you don't want to face the world, and you're constantly out of energy. You have no idea why. You were never like that before, if it starts in an adult life, but like I said, it normally starts when you're a child. So for as long as you can remember, you had low energy all your life. And so now you come accustomed to it as you're getting older, and you feel like that's normal. That's how life should feel like. And so guess what happens? This is where you are. This is where you were when you were a child. And this is where you are when you're an adult. These are the entities that are influencing your life, and they're still above you. They're still influencing you. So the older you get, the stronger they get, the more activities happen. Does it make sense? So that's why they say, like, a lot of times adults will get pulled out of bed. So you tell your doctor next time you see your psychologist or therapist, or even a MD, regular doctor, whatever, for a checkup you go to, and they tell you that it was just a dream or it was just a nightmare that you were having. Then you tell them, why don't you guys explain who's the one that grabbed my ankles and yanked me out of bed? That's what you guys need to think about. Sleep paralysis happens every single day around the world, and as it continuously happens, the doctors continuously get paid and rip you off for it. It's very simple to figure out what it is. Well, kind of for me, because I've done my research and I've done a lot of studying to figure out what causes the sleep paralysis, put everything together, including my clients that I have and people around the world that constantly contact me and ask me about the sleep paralysis, and I have helped many people. The good news is there is hope and there is help to sleep paralysis to get rid of it forever. If you ask a doctor, you're going to be under their mind control medication for the rest of your life so they can continuously make money off of you. Don't do it. If I wasn't 100% sure exactly what it was, I would not come out here and tell you guys anything. I don't say anything unless I know 100% for sure. Sleep paralysis has something to do with the spiritual realm. I would say that the dark entities, the dark energies, demons, whatever you guys want to call it, they're all the same thing. So yes, sleep paralysis has nothing to do with actual neurological stuff, or there's something wrong with your brain and you have to take medication for it. A lot of times what they will do is the doctors will give you medication for anxiety to a child, and the medication doesn't go well with the body, and the child ends up developing seizures, and now they have seizures, and now the doctor has to prescribe more medications for seizures, which is charging you double the money, which is what happens in most cases when you're a child and you say, well, I've had seizures since I was a little kid. Well, do you remember when it started? Maybe when you went to the doctor and they said that a sleep paralysis had actually something to do with medicine, physical and mental, that they need to cure. Not even cure. They never even say cure anymore. They say treat, right? Well, treating is not enough. If you are going through something all your life and you can't figure out what it is, and you don't want them to treat it, because the treating, it's just temporary, and if you stop, then it will continue and it will be worse. So it's not treating it that you want, it's something that's called cure. You want to cure whatever problem you're going through. In this case, it's sleep paralysis. So again, don't trust the doctors. I try not to go to the doctors as much as I don't have to, unless I'm dying, then maybe I'll pop in the hospital, but I haven't even been in the hospital in so long. So again, you know, it's all in the mind. Don't trust the doctors. The way that you can fix it is somebody like me that has the experience in the spiritual realm. I have done this, so you know, I'm speaking out of experience. I have done readings and I have taken care of the problem, figured out who the demons were, and pretty much kicked them out and closed the portals, locked them out for good, and the sleep paralysis were gone. They were gone. Once the demons and the attachments, you have attachments when you have a sleep paralysis. And once those attachments are gone, then you are done. You're done. You're not going to have sleep paralysis. Again, I'm speaking out of experience. Now, what I do and what you can have somebody that you trust. I mean, of course, you could trust me because, you know, I'm here all the time and, I've been helping people all around the world for so many years. But, you know, go to somebody that you trust, somebody like me, and have them do a reading for you. You know, for example, me, I do readings over the phone. People constantly ask me, after they watch my videos, after they see my tweets on Twitter and my posts on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, they still, you know, ask me, well, how do I do, you do it over the phone? Yes, I do it over the phone. If you're not in the same hometown, in the same state, or even in the same country, I will do it over the phone, because how else will you be here? You know what I'm saying? How else would I do the reading? You can't physically be here. Guess what? The convenience of a phone is communication 2 ways. So I can actually do a reading over the phone. So once I'm able to do the reading over the phone, and once I find out who the attachments were or are at the time, what they want, how long they've been there with you, and the stuff that they have been doing, I do a full-on reading from head to toe, pretty much from birth till now when you contact me. And I find out and I get to the root of the problem. I evict those demons. Sometimes, you know, it only takes a couple hours. Sometimes it takes a full day. Sometimes it might take a couple of days or a week. But eventually we get the problem out, just depending how many attachments you have. That's what I mean. It's not hard for me to get rid of attachments. It just, you know, it's a process that we do, especially if we're not physically there with you. It takes a little bit longer, but the wait is worth it, because in the end you are finally free from, you know, these terror night attacks. You're finally free from this so-called sleep paralysis, which I actually call entity attacks, which they should call entity attacks, but, you know, it's just substitution of sleep paralysis. And a lot of people don't know what that means, because it's really not something, to me, like sleep paralysis. Okay, it can mean 100 different things. What the hell do you mean? And the reason why, you know, if you really think about it, you know, open your eyes and actually think about it and think really hard. Sleep paralysis, like I said, it can mean many different things. The reason why doctors have named it sleep paralysis is so they can come up with many different things, many different excuses of illnesses for you that are supposedly sleep paralysis, is what they call it, right? And so therefore, they can have you as a patient a little bit longer. They can treat you a little bit longer. And the way they treat you is shove medication down your throat. So if you've never had health issues, now all of a sudden you have health issues, you have seizures, you start having anxiety attacks and this and that, and then they switch to your medication, then they add an inhaler for asthma because asthma starts to develop and all this stuff. But no, you see the chain of events that occur when it comes to going to the doctor for sleep paralysis. Then they refer you to a therapist, and then you have to drop a couple $100 for a therapist plus the medications they gave you. So you have the doctor's medications, here you have the therapist medications. You're only one person. How much can your body hold when it comes to all these prescription drugs that you are taking? Eventually you are going to get sick, and now you get stuck with this doctor because now you're actually sick Before you were never sick. Now you have all kinds of illnesses that's going on due to the medications that you don't realize you're taking. And it drives you crazy. It pisses you off. It keeps you insane. So therefore, they bounce you back, to the therapist. So it's a back and forth game with the therapist and the doctors. They work together hand in hand. Don't forget that. They work together hand in hand. So that's just to make money off of you. If you want to get rid of these entity attacks, where you feel something heavy on your chest, on your body, you can't move, you can breathe, but you feel like you're suffocating, you can't scream, you're in a coma state. What it means is the entity that's taken over your body at the moment is to collect energy from your fear, because they need to feed off of that energy. And on top of that, they need to make sure that they're in control and you're still right here no matter how old you are. And the more medications you take, you drop to where now you're going to be a vegetable to the demons, and that's when they will collect your soul. And it's not going to be pretty. A lot of people that I don't know personally, but stories that I heard from people, sleep paralysis can get not just dangerous, but beyond dangerous. It could be deadly. It could be deadly. So the sooner you find out, or either yourself or somebody that you know that has sleep paralysis, aka entity attacks, contact me or somebody that you trust, somebody that you feel comfortable with. You guys can always talk to me about anything that you want. I will always be there to help you guys out. But definitely seek help. I suggest you guys to seek help with professional psychic mediums that can actually look into it and do readings and look into seeing what is haunting you, what is attached to you, why is it doing the stuff that it's doing, and then eventually evict them, kick them out of your life, get them the hell away from you, close the portals, lock it, and you are free. Sometimes it might take an exorcism. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes some cases could be very severe to where it's not just the physical attacks that you're feeling, but you feel like you're having an outer body experience. Once you start having an outer body experience, that's when you need to be very, very aware and careful, because that a lot of times when you're having an outer body experience, they could take advantage and actually jump in your body and take over your life and take over your body. And your spirit, or your soul, is out lingering around somewhere. And people will never know that it's not you. So yes, they do that. They do take over your body. They can kill your spirit and take over your body, or they can put you in a coma state for the rest of your body's life, as long as your body and your organs work. And then when they're shutting down and when they're dead and gone, then the demons will actually collect your soul and drag you down to hell with them. So, I'm sorry, I'm just straight up. That's what a lot of people watch my videos and love the work I do and contact me, because I don't beat around the bush. I'm actually really straightforward, which is why I think that, many people in this profession, or even doctors, should be more honest with their patients, but unfortunately they're not. So give it a try. I guarantee you it's going to work. Like I said, if it doesn't work the first or second time, the psychic medium, the expert will actually let you guys know what level case of haunting and attachment you have, and if they could do something about it. If not, then they would, refer you to somebody that could perform an exorcism. Or let you guys know, you need to find someone that needs to perform an exorcism, cleansing, and a house blessing. So again, just depending what level and how many attachments that you have, that you get attacked every single night, or, it could be once a week, once a year. Even once a year, it's too much. You should already know that even if it's once a year, which actually turns to be multiple times a year, or even multiple times a month, which is the scariest, then you know that it's time to seek professional help to look into it and to get to the root of the problem and fix it once and for all. So that's pretty much what a sleep paralysis is. It has nothing. Don't waste your insurance. Don't waste your money out of your own pocket. going to all these doctor's visits. Seek someone that would do a full reading to find out who is doing it, what's doing it, why it's doing it, get to the root of the problem, and then they will definitely find a solution of how to take care of it for you. And then once it's gone, once it's done, your sleep paralysis, or I should say entity attacks, will be done as well. If you have any questions, contact me anytime, monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com. I'm also on Twitter at monmonqueenie. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter, as I always put updates on my shows, my radio show, my interviews, any type of work that I do. I'm always on social media, keeping you guys updated on what's going on fun events as well, and the videos that I post. So with that said, if you guys have any more questions, don't hesitate to contact me, email me. I'm pretty good in getting back fairly quickly. So it's monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com. That's my email, monicaspiritqueen@yahoo.com. Contact me anytime, and I will be happy to help you guys out. Love you guys. Take care, and please be safe. Bye.